Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video we're going to be talking about the piece of gear that literally changes everything. And the piece of gear that I'm talking about is the acoustic sensor. It has been featured in a lot of my different videos, but the question continues to arise: how do I get that 6th sense feature on my mini-map? So I'm going to break down how the acoustic sensor works, talk a little bit about the description, when you get in the leveling up process, and pretty much everything you need to know about the acoustic sensor. And I would bet that probably after this video you'll probably change literally every class setup to include the acoustic sensor with dead silence. You unlock the acoustic sensor at level 7, as you can see right here. So when we take a look at the description, all it says is enemy movements are easier to hear. And although that's true, that's only half the story when it comes to this piece of gear. And we'll come to the other half of the story about the 6th sense in just a little bit. But at this moment, I wanted to talk a little bit about your audio settings, because you should have changed your audio settings by now. And when you go to your audio settings, you're going to want to go to your audio preset and change it to super crunch. And pretty much this one's going to amplify all the footsteps, regardless if you're using this piece of gear or not. So if you're having trouble hearing the footsteps, definitely make sure you make this change as soon as possible. The other huge misconception I see a lot of people run into is that they won't be able to heal if they actually use this piece of gear. And that is a total misconception, because you'll still be able to hear. I know a lot of people are running that stim shot piece of gear, and all that does is allow you to heal faster and more often. So have no fear, if you run that acoustic sensor, you'll still be able to heal at a reasonable pace, and it'll still be faster than every Call of Duty before this one. So now that we got some of that out of the way, let's go ahead and focus on that 6th sense part of this piece of gear. So what you're looking at in the background is a test that I have running in a loop, so you can actually see how that 6th sense perk works. One thing I'll tell you about this specific test is that both players actually have the acoustic sensor on. The only difference is the top player is not moving and the bottom player is. So the acoustic sensor will only activate if the enemy is moving. From my testing, I was able to gather that the approximate distance is around 30 meters that you'll be able to sense someone. And obviously if they're crouch walking or they're standing still, those are going to be factors that play into it. If the enemy is running dead silent, it's going to reduce that distance by about 90%. So in the background now, you'll see those tests very briefly. You can see how close the bottom person has to get before it pops up on the top player's minimap. And just so you have a little bit of comparison of what that looks like, this yellow circle is a sensor dart. So if I'm standing on that sensor dart, this purple line represents that furthest point at which I could detect someone using the acoustic sensor that is not running dead silence. And that green line is how far I could detect someone if they are running dead silent. So what is all that testing telling us? So for me personally, I think it tells us 3 different things. The first thing it tells us is that the acoustic sensor is very powerful and that you'll be at a huge advantage if you use it. The second thing we find from this test is that although the acoustic sensor is very powerful, it does have a counter in dead silence, which leads us to the third thing, and that is that dead silence is a crutch perk in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The main reason I call it a crutch perk is because you're going to be at a huge disadvantage if you're not running dead silence. Your enemies are going to be pre-aiming you at every corner, and you're pretty much going to lose before you even had a chance. So you've been running Ghost or something else in this 3rd slot, you're going to want to make sure you change that up to dead silence, and you'll notice immediately the rate at which you're getting pre-aimed and pre-fired will drop significantly, which will allow you to have a lot more fair gunfights. And on the other hand, if you decide to run acoustic sensor with that dead silence, you're going to be able to pre-aim all these people around corners, be in better positioning, and be able to play a lot smarter. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think dead silence is a crutch perk after you've seen this video? And do you think the acoustic sensor is a little overpowered? Also, if you enjoyed the video in any way, remember to hit that like button. And if you're brand new to the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on for more Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setups, subscriber breakdowns, as well as other tip and trick videos on how to improve. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great day.